Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan, and welcome to the always enlightened and ever-truthful comic book vault. Today we're going to talk about a one-shot that came out last week. This is the Wonder Woman 77 special. Coming out of the success of Batman 66, DC thought it would be fun to put out a one-shot for the Wonder Woman TV show, Wonder Woman 77. Funny how these numbers are consecutive, 66, 77. I'm like, did DC have anything that came out first in 88? Nothing that springs to mind. We could have Flash in 1990. We get close there. We could have Batman 1989. Of course, that's not a TV show. But that's the next one of these that I really want to see in taking a screen thing and doing news stories in that universe and in that vein on panels. I've said this before, but I really want to see Batman 89 done in this treatment. Anyway, this is really fun. This is an $8 thick two-story book. There are two different stories in this, both written by Mark Andreyko and then drawn by a whole bunch of different artists. Let me get some of the names here because they're all in the back. It lists them throughout the book because these are really segmented up into chapters. Every few pages, it's like chapter 2. But you only get like 4 or 5 pages before there's a new chapter, and that's sort of odd, especially because this is broken up into two different stories. But anyway, I don't know why it's done that way. But we've got art by Matt Haley, Richard Ortiz, Jason Badower, Drew Johnson, so 4 different artists. And really my only complaint with this is that that gets a little bit jarring here and there as you're going along. You only get a few pages, and then all of a sudden the art style changes. And it's all really faithful to this TV show, and like everybody who is drawing Linda Carter's Wonder Woman, it always looks like her. Sometimes more photorealistic than at other times. I think my favorite is the artist at the beginning of the second story. Boy, the art here is just absolutely beautiful. It's as I said, nearly photorealistic. It looks painted, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's drawn by Jason Badower. And boy, I wish he'd drawn this entire section and really the whole issue. Not to say that not to say that everything in this doesn't look pretty good, but sometimes it looks a little bit more cartoony than other times. And once you get that, and the photorealistic look doesn't always work when you have adaptations from screen stuff, but boy, here it really does. It just looks absolutely breathtaking, and a lot of really dynamic, flashy stuff in this. Just like with Batman 66, taking something that on the screen on a TV budget maybe wasn't quite as dynamic, and putting it here and putting it into comic book action and just making it absolutely dynamite and thrilling action. So both of these stories is what Wonder Woman, especially in the TV show, often, nearly always was about, which is the truth, and Wonder Woman trying to find the truth in things, and that being how she always thwarts plots. It's not always just she throws her magic lasso on a person and they tell the truth, and then it's over like the end of a Scooby-Doo episode when you take the bad guy's mask off. It's not like that, but it's finding in both stories there's a very different plot that is all about a bad guy who is using falsehood to his or her advantage, and so and that it seems to be the two big things that Wonder Woman's about are really exemplified in this, which is the truth, and she's also very against excessive violence. Talks about that a lot. There's a scene where she throws her tiara and says, if there's one thing I hate about man's world, it's their over-reliance on guns. I really kind of like that moment. And in the first story, it's this hysterical situation where there's this villainess who has commandeered a disco, and through her voice, through her singing, she's managed to create mass hypnosis, and all these men are trying to kill Wonder Woman. And so Wonder Woman thwarts that, and then there's a lot of disco dancing. It's really funny. It's, of course, a product of that time, and really homaging that period. There is a New 52 reference I could have lived without. It seems like lately I've been seeing a lot of these cute things, both here and like in the Flash and Arrow shows, where we've got to have references to the number 52 all the time. And I don't know why I had to have that here, but anyway, the second story was is really interesting, and I kind of wish could have been extrapolated. And I wish this could have been the whole issue, because it's a neat situation, and I wish we could have explored Wonder Woman's psychology a little bit. But I understand and appreciate that this is mostly just an homage and isn't really about doing any deep character study or anything like that. It's kind of just dipping our feet back in this TV show again, and kind of the novelty of that. And what little story is here is fun, but it's certainly not complex by any stretch of the imagination. Anyway, the second story is basically the Wonder Woman version of the Batman animated series Perchance to Dream. Nearly the exact same situation. It's Wonder Woman finds herself in a world where there is another Wonder Woman, and she's not it. And everyone thinks that she's some other person just living a regular, mundane existence. And she tries to call up Steve Trevor, and Steve Trevor doesn't know who she is. And then at the end of it, it turns out, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know this, I know this book just came out, and I'm mostly doing this particular vault to recommend that people pick it up. So I'm not going to tell you a ton of stuff about it, but I will mention that the bad guy in that is Dr. Psycho, and it's pretty funny when she goes after him and says, "Come back here, psycho!" And I don't know why, I think it's really funny. And he wants revenge on her for, I guess, thwarting his schemes in the past. And it's very much that Mad Hatter thing where he tries to put her in this other in this other reality in her mind. I guess the difference is with the Mad Hatter in that Batman episode. I mean, admittedly, that's more interesting, but it was kind of fun to see it. Again, just the novelty of seeing it for this particular character. I don't know if it was a straight ripoff or not. I kind of wonder if this guy went and watched that episode and thought, let's do that for Wonder Woman, and certainly not the most original story now. But I mean, lots of people have had their take on that now. So this is somewhat generic and mostly about getting to see Wonder Woman's Rogues Gallery realized in this, because, and I don't know that show very well. I've only ever seen 1 or 2 episodes, but I've talked to Manos and from the folks that really like the show that I've talked to. It seems like it didn't have a lot of costume bad guys. It seems like that's the big thing that the 60s show had over it, that it was mostly just like a generic crooks and bad men with a lot of money who corrupt mob bosses and evil philanthropists and stuff like that. And so anyway, it's kind of just the novelty to get to see her Rogues Gallery and to see some evil looking Wonder Woman and stuff. But he puts her in this world, and it's not her perfect world like it is with Batman. Here it's just kind of this weird topsy-turvy place where there's this other Wonder Woman who doesn't seem to embody her ideals, and that's when she's absolutely certain that she must take action now and reveal the truth. So this seems to, again, from what little I know of it, really really keep to the ideas and the tone of that show and the spirit of that show. What just like with a couple other of these throwback things that they've done lately, like they did the Batman 66 Two-Face Lost episode, and you get to the back of that, and there's a really cool couple-page document all about that episode and why it didn't get made. This has one of those also written by a Wonder Woman expert, this guy Andy Mangles, who apparently writes about Wonder Woman a lot and is is kind of a Wonder Woman historian. He has this great article all about the history of the TV show, and he mentions in this that, and I don't know if he has any inside knowledge and that's why he says this, or if it's wishful thinking, but he says something toward the end of that along the lines of if there's a lot of demand for this, maybe DC will go on and do a monthly, make more of these like they have with Batman 66. I would love to see that happen. I think that this definitely has legs, and there could be some more really great stories told there. This show, I think, was a lot more popular than a lot of people give it credit for, and has been kind of overlooked and a little bit dismissed over the years. And so it's cool to have something like this to draw attention to it again. The box sets, the DVD box sets, are still available. People can look at this, and putting it out like this, just like with Batman 66, is kind of an all ages book. Certainly, this is a great family thing. This is a great thing to put in kids' hands. It's really uplifting. Wonder Woman, of course, is a wonderful role model for girls and boys, and this particular version especially. I think it would be really cool if some kids and some young adults got their hands on this and said, "Oh, that TV show that I never saw, I should go seek that out and take a look at it." And it certainly made me want to do that. So anyway, I guess the only problem with that, the only beef I would have, even a little bit, as far as getting this in people's hands, is, well, it is $8. It is a little bit steep, and it's going to be more likely collectors than anybody who's going to want to pick this up. But at the same time, I think it's worth it. I think it's a lot of bang for your buck. It's 2 stories, and they're not too truncated. Again, I would have preferred that story, that second story, elaborated upon and blown up for the whole issue, but as it stands, I think it's really fun. I really enjoyed it, and like I said, the artwork is absolutely phenomenal all the way through, regardless of the fact that it gets a little bit jarring here and there. So anyway, everybody, thanks as always for watching. Sure appreciate it, and I will try to come back with you again with some more comic vaults of recent acquisitions as soon as humanly possible. If you would like to send me anything to review on the Comic Vault, the address for the Geekvolution P.O. Box is right here in the video. And in the meantime, I am Captain Logan, and I'll see you again very soon. Happy reading.